For decades, hardware security modules or HSMs have been the gold standard for securing encryption keys and certificates. Secure, but not holding direct value. If a key was compromised, it was a security breach, but it wasn't a direct loss of funds. Access was held by the ops manager, the security manager, the IT manager, or the data center manager. The system was physically secure across these multiple roles. But today, HSMs store digital assets, bearer instruments worth billions. Their usage has changed from storing secure keys to something of huge monetary value. Previously, trusting one person with physical access was fine. Now, if physical access equals authorization, your billions are at risk. What happens when this person leaves? What happens to their access? Will their key now be exposed so that another person may inherit their credentials? Some companies try to fix this by writing static policies inside the HSM's functionality module. But this creates a rigid trap. To update the policy, like when an employee leaves, you must open the HSM to code updates. This is a risky, vulnerable process. Every time you open the HSM for an update, you introduce risk. You become susceptible to vulnerable code insertion or bad actors adding themselves to the policy to siphon off data. Every update opens the door for vulnerabilities or bad actors to insert codes and siphon funds. Liminal's solution changes the game. Liminal HSM Vaults uses the HSM's native simple key verification like the BLS. Liminal does not aim to run complex, vulnerable policy codes inside the box. These could lead to losses. BLS is a digital signature algorithm used to ensure data authenticity and integrity. At Liminal, we wrap HSM device in our patent-pending MPC authorization protocol. This converts static access control into dynamic distributed authorization. Now, authorization is distributed across risk, compliance, and treasury teams, or whoever the enterprise wants to assign the authorization to. Need to change an approver? You don't need to touch the HSM. The policy update happens dynamically in the cryptographic layer with full audit trails. Even if the authorizer loses the key, they can be added back as an authorizer without threat of exposure or loss. This creates true segregation. Your IT team manages the physical box, but they have zero knowledge of what asset is stored inside it. Only your business, risk, and compliance teams, or any others that you wish to nominate, can authorize funds. Crucially, our authorization is offline capable. The funds cannot move unless an offline and online authorization is provided. It is an air-gap-grade safety net. And unlike others who extract keys into recovery kits, our private keys never leave the HSM. Backup and recovery remain native and secure. Even without the vulnerable recovery kits, recovery is possible in a safe, secure manner. With Liminal HSM Vaults, your private keys never leave the HSM, not during operation, rotation, or backup. We rely exclusively on the HSM native certified backup process, ensuring the key material remains sealed inside hardware at all times. Liminal's differentiation comes from how authorization works. Instead of extracting keys or embedding static logic inside the device, Liminal adds an MPC multi-party computation authorization layer. That becomes a smart key attribute of the HSM, its key itself. In practice, the HSM will only unlock and use the private key when the required MPC approvers collectively authorize it. The key stays protected, the policy becomes dynamic. This delivers zero key exposure, no exports, no sharding kits, no reconstruction. MPC controls signing. The MPC layer acts as a policy gate that the HSM enforces. Real segregation of duties. Infra teams can access hardware, but only business owners can unlock transactions. Flexible policies, no firmware risks. Updates happen outside the HSM. without touching code hardware. With Liminal HSM Vaults, Liminal turns security from a person-dependent risk into a process-driven guarantee. Liminal is not just using HSMs as a secure device. It is empowering and strengthening institutions to safely store billions. Liminal turns security from a person-dependent risk into a process-driven guarantee. The world of HSM has changed from storing asset keys to storing real assets. Your security should too. Ask for a Liminal HSM Vaults workshop today.